Detroit, Michigan, or Detroit, Michigan, as they say there. Good morning. It really is a pretty nice skyline. Pretty nice. I'm not mad at that. Anyway, we're getting you ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. We're going to take you to New York here in short order and give you an idea of how things are looking. Here's a quick preview of pre-market trading. As you can see, the Dow and S&P 500 are in the green at the moment. The NASDAQ is down. All of that can change quite literally just like that. So we'll take you back there to New York for the opening bell here in just a minute. First, though, let's get you over to David. David, good morning.
Good morning, T. Bates. All right, time now for our daily dose of dollars and common sense with American Sunrise Early Edition host, the guy behind Jake's Take Substack. That is Jake Novak. All right, Jake, let's start with some good news for home buyers. You told us you did a segment a week ago about this. So look for mortgage rates to come down. What's going on?
Well, they did come down. I hope everyone was listening. Mortgage rates are now at their lowest levels of the year. Still way too high, in my opinion, but about 0.5% lower than they were just a few weeks ago. So this is a big deal. We're at 6.57% on your average 30-year mortgage. And by the way, this will absolutely help things going. Now, right now, it's helping the refinance types, not necessarily people buying a new home. But that's where it starts, and then eventually it'll go to new home buyers. But I gotta say, David, I really wish that it happened 6 or 7 weeks ago, because now school is starting, and it's harder to get especially young families to want to go and buy a new home now when their kids are starting school. But hey, you know what? Yank Jr. out of school for a couple of days. They won't be upset. So go ahead and do that and get a new home.
Yeah, good point. Yank Jr. out of school. That's the quote of the morning, I think. All right. A key strategy for the Trump administration, Jake, when it comes to drug prices, showing some good results. So tell us about that.
Yeah, you know, even in the first term, President Trump's policy folks, they didn't talk about it that much, but they have started to talk about it now more. Instead of going to the drug companies in America and begging them, please lower your prices, or threatening them, telling them, hey, raise your prices overseas, where you've been giving them a discount for years on the backs of Americans. We pay full price. They get the discount. Why, I don't know. And he's been saying, raise your prices overseas, and then it'll be easier for you to lower your prices here, level the playing field. And so Mounjaro, which is that diabetes drug, you can't avoid its commercials. You know what I'm talking about, that drug. Well, they have raised the prices. Eli Lilly, which owns that drug, raised the prices in Britain, not in the United States, but in Britain. So if you're one of those people relying on that drug, you might get some relief pretty soon, or at least a delay the next time they raise the prices on you. This is a decent policy because you have to have a level playing field here. We're not in the discount business anymore when it comes to drugs.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I understand you were telling me here that Elon Musk and Tesla are planning to bring driverless robo-taxis to New York City, of all places. All right. How do we know this exactly? And by the way, let me just say, I've been in a few taxis in New York growing up, and I know you have too. I'm not quite sure robotic car, whatever it is, driverless taxis are going to necessarily work. But then again, I've been in some crazy taxi rides, so who knows? Maybe it'll be an improvement. I don't know.
Yeah. So the reason why we know this is because there's one ads for people to be the test, these pilot programs with driverless cars. There is a person in them, just not driving it, just so in case there's some kind of disaster. So there's a one ad for them. But, listen, in all seriousness, it's one thing to do this in Austin. It's one thing to do this in California. But the streets of Manhattan or Brooklyn with driverless cars. Now, David, this will work if we can get one of those robotic voices to curse at other drivers. Is there a way that we can get a robotic middle finger application to the car? That'll work really well, too. And basically just someone to yell, forget about it. Hey, move it. I'm walking here. And now if we can get that, then I'm all for it. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. I mean, the actual audio that would come with that would be very, very entertaining for sure. Hey, by the way, speaking about forget about it, let's talk about Jets, the New York Jets and their seasons. Now, you're a long-time diehard Jets fan. I am too, with emphasis on diehard. So my question has nothing to do with common sense. It just has to do simply with how the Jet season is shaping up. So you got 30 seconds. How are we looking this year? Are we going to? What's the over/under on wins? I guess is my question this year. What do you think, Jake?
Let me just get this out of the way for everyone. The Jets are going to be good when Justin Fields, their new quarterback, is healthy. I expect that to last about 5 or 6 weeks. There is no way he's starting every game this year. He's going to get hurt because of the way he plays and because of the Jets' luck. If he's healthy, though, the Jets will win, but I don't expect that to be for much of the season. But on the bright side, and we're going to go to Terrence in a second for the opening bell, the Dow is going to break its all-time high in just like a minute right now. That's going to be an exciting moment for all of us. And we should focus on that because if you're a Jets fan and you like green, you might see more green going up at the stock market than you do on the football field. That's for sure.
That's a good point. And why do they call them gangrene? Because I get it, but it's also a disease. And it's kind of been a disease for a very long time. Jake, great to have you. Have a great weekend.
You too, everyone.
All right. Time for Terrence in Denver. Opening bell, New York Stock Exchange, sponsored by AMAC.
The Association of Mature American Citizens is the conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.
We're getting ready for the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. It's set to ring here momentarily. As you can see, it's already up and down in pre-market trading. The applause is underway, which means we are seconds away from the bell actually ringing and the market's officially opening. And then we'll get an idea of exactly how things are looking on this final day of trading of the week on Friday. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The bell is ringing, which means the markets are now officially open. And just like that, things have changed back just a little bit. As you can see, the Dow and S&P 500 both back in the green. Just moments ago, you saw they were in the red. The NASDAQ is in the red, and the rest of the board is in the red as well. Those precious metals, gold, silver, as well as crude oil. But the good news is that the Dow and at least the S&P 500, starting this last day of trading of the week on a positive note, we'll continue to monitor it for you throughout the day. Here's a question for you, though. Is the continued divide between Trump and the Federal Reserve putting us all behind the curve yet again? Can the Fed take the right action at the right time, or are we going to be looking at a potential economic slowdown? And what does all of this ultimately mean for your savings? Well, you may want to consider diversifying with gold through the Birch Gold Group. For decades, gold has been viewed as a safe haven in times of economic stagnation, global uncertainty, and high inflation. The Birch Gold Group makes it incredibly easy for you to diversify some of your savings into gold. If you have an IRA or an old 401k, you can convert that into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, or just buy some gold to keep in your safe. First, though, get educated. The Birch Gold Group will send you a free information kit on gold. All you have to do to get it is text the word America to the number 989898. Again, just text the word America to the number 989898. Consider diversifying a portion of your savings into gold. That way, if the Fed can't stay ahead of the curve for the country, at least you can stay ahead for yourself. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, the RAV chat room report, we're going to take you inside the week that was to see what topics really intrigued our viewers. It's next here on American Sunrise with my guy. You know who he is. That's next.